Hi and welcome to HappyKittyCrafts. Today I'm going into the beautiful world of resin art. This isn't a tutorial exactly, but more of a watch me work and learn things as I go type of thing. And boy, did I learn a lot by trying to make these resin art hair clips for the first time. I do have some tips to share with you guys because I don't want people to repeat my mistakes, so stay tuned and I'll try to keep it quick and short. Before you should dive into buying all the tools, the molds, the resin itself, there are several things you should know, and I will put some extremely useful links down below. Please don't ignore them and go into them. They will help you a lot if you're interested into diving into this. There are certain precautions and protective measures you should take, and this is by no means a safe hobby for children. So let's get started. Here, as you can see, I've got my mold and my UV resin and the hair clips that came with the kit. I'm going to start out by putting a little layer, and by little did I mean little, like I was so stingy with that, only because I didn't have much in the bottle left and I wanted to see the project all the way through to the end. I have these beautiful dried flowers that I got off Amazon. They're almost too beautiful to use. I really didn't want to use them. So one thing I did learn is that I want to try to keep my tweezers clean. So that's why I'm not dipping my tweezers into the UV resin. Instead, I'm holding it over the mold and then I'm pushing them down with toothpicks, because it's okay if the toothpicks get dirty. Those I can throw away. But if my tweezers get dirty, they might start sticking to everything I use and I'll have to clean them, and I wasn't sure what the process, like how clean I could get them if I do even clean them. I'm gonna speed up the video and just show you that I'm just lining up some flowers in there. I'm just dropping them in there for now. They're gonna be readjusted again. And then using a little bit of the UV resin on the tip of the toothpick, I stick the flowers onto the toothpick and then drop them off into the mold. If some of the flowers are too big to fit into the mold, don't be afraid to cut them and then reposition them inside. Sometimes you don't want the whole flower, so might as well cut it and just start using the petals, because you want that in there. But then the whole flower itself will be too big to actually be in the mold. Now I'm going to add more resin and try to fill it up to the top. Here's one thing I did wrong. I shouldn't have filled it up to the top. I should have filled a little bit, cured it, and then filled it up to the top just to get that nice clean glaze. You see what I mean? At the end, I won't have that really nice clean glaze. I would have a little bit of the bumps of the flowers sticking out later. But you learn from experience, and how can you learn if you're not making mistakes? Then I'm going to go over with the toothpick, try to spread the resin throughout the whole mold. I'm also going to be poking at whatever bubbles I couldn't get. I did use a torch really quickly and went over it to pop some more bubbles, but here's one thing I did learn as well. Through experience and through other amazing artists on resin who were very helpful enough to share their experiences, is that the torch tends to ruin your mold and sometimes gets the resin too stuck to the mold. And I don't know if that applies with the UV resin. I haven't experienced that with the UV resin and the torch, but I have experienced that with the normal resin, the 2 parts resin. I have experienced that, unfortunately, that when I did torch it and I did want to take out the resin out of the mold, it just ripped my mold to pieces. It would not pop out at all. So apparently that was from the torch. So as you can see, I'm just putting over the UV lights and curing them. And now that they're cured, I pop them out of the mold. You see, they're pretty, but they're not quite smooth. You can see some bumps from the flowers. And this is why I should have cured it and then put another layer that's just clear UV resin layer, so that I wouldn't have that bumpy surface and instead I would have a smooth one. And here what I'm doing is that there was a bit of a flower popping out and a ridge, so I'm just sanding it down. And now I'm going to stick the hair clip to the resin using resin, and then I will pop it into the UV light. And there you have it. I mean, you can see there are some bubbles in there. It looks a bit messy. I wish I would have done the layering, curing thing, but it's still not so bad for a first try, isn't it? I hope you like this video and that you have learned something from my mistakes. I promise in the future I will be posting better videos as I learn more about resin art. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Have a great day from Happy Kitty Crafts. Bye!